If you are looking for great places to eat in the Oklahoma City Metro, then this video is for you. My name is Kinsley Hauser and I'm a realtor right here in the Oklahoma City Metro. I love getting to help people buy and sell homes, and if that is you, now or in the future, I'd love for you to remember my name and to reach out to me. You can find all the ways for how to do that in the description box below, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. I know that you did not click on a food video to try to be sold by a realtor, so we're gonna skip past that and go straight into it. I tried for this video to give a wide range of price points. I will say the majority of them probably do tend to be on the slightly higher scale, but I think it just reflects the level of food that it is. I also want to say that I reached out to some clients of mine who have moved here to say, hey, what has been your favorite place since moving here? So some of these are places that clients of mine have visited and have vouched for. So number one on the list is Hall's Pizza. Hall's Pizza is one of our favorite pizza places of all time. This was also a client recommendation, but I can say that I have been there and it is amazing. You're gonna have about $22 to $25 a pizza, which in my opinion for high quality pizza is not bad at all. I also have to suggest that if you go, you've got to try their jalapeno ranch because it makes the pizza go from a 9 to a 10. It's located in Midtown and they do have indoor and outdoor seating. They also have, like, their outdoor is patio seating, and so you get a really great view of the Oklahoma City skyline. Not only do they have pizza, but of course they have salads, appetizers. They have this garlic type of appetizer with kind of like a garlic bread, but literal garlic pieces, but it's actually very delicious. And then they have cookies from the case, so different highlighted cookies and then other desserts to go along with it. But I don't think you need any of the extras. The pizza and I guess the jalapeno ranch is an extra. But those two things combined make for, I would say, the best pizza in Oklahoma City. Number two is Neighborhood Provisions. And I said Oklahoma City Metro because technically this restaurant is just up into Edmond, but not too far. And it is very easily accessible from Oklahoma City. Neighborhood Provisions is located at Rose Creek within the country club, but you do not have to be a part of the country club to go to it. It is open to the public. They are closed on Mondays, but they have lunch and dinner menus. For lunch, you're gonna expect to pay $15 to $25 for the plates, just depending on what you get. And they do have a Sunday brunch, which prices are probably gonna average around $20. Their dinner ranges from $20 to $55, just depending on the type of plate you get. They also have pizza, and I have heard, I cannot attest for this, but I have heard that their pizza actually is probably some of the best pizza in the Oklahoma City Metro as well. So the pizza is going to be on the lower end, and then of course as you get into the steaks and things like that, you're going to get onto the higher end. They also have chicken dishes, salmon, pork, and again on Sunday they do have the brunch, so more of brunch type options. They have an extensive wine list, with Tuesday being all day social hour, and then throughout the rest of the week you have social hour from 3 to 6. Number three is a slightly different take, and it is Frida Southwest. From their website, it is inspired by the cuisine of Oklahoma, Santa Fe, and northern Mexico. Dinners are gonna range from $30 to $55, with enchiladas and chicken dishes being on the cheaper end, and then the higher end would be fillets and things like that. They also have a weekend brunch that is Saturday and Sunday until 2. And similar to our last one, most brunch dishes are gonna be right there in the 20s. On their menu, you are gonna see some familiar dishes, but then maybe some familiar dishes with a little bit of a twist. So for brunch, you might see chicken and waffles, but the chicken is going to be Santa Fe Frenched chicken. So a little bit of a different take on a familiar dish. And also similar to our last one, they are closed on Monday. So if you are going to go, make sure that you go Tuesday through Sunday. Number four is Cafe Kacao, I believe is how you say it. I didn't ask when we went, but I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. This is a Latin American restaurant. For the sake of misspeaking and pronouncing something wrong, I will throw on some images as I'm talking of the food that they have, because if I try to go through and say them all, I will definitely butcher them. So you can just enjoy the pictures as I am speaking. These dishes are inspired from South Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Brazil. They have a very good mix of sweet and savory dishes. They also have some pretty good coffee. One of the best coffees I think I've had came from there. It was their Cubana coffee, and it was a 10 out of 10. Most breakfast and lunch plates are gonna be anywhere from $15 to $25, just depending on what you get. They do have a lot of additional things you can get as well. So when we went, my husband and I each got our own dish, but we also got pupusas to share. And I will say we had the privilege of going on a missions trip to El Salvador a few years ago, and we had El Salvadorian pupusas in El Salvador, and then we got to taste them here as well, and they were delicious. And they tasted, from my memory, very authentic. So we just added a few things like that on, And so overall, I think it can be an expensive place to eat, but you can also go and try to do it a little bit more affordably as well. I will give a suggestion to make sure that you join the Yelp wait list, because the wait times can be super long, and so you want to make sure you join the wait list so that way you're not waiting for hours outside of the restaurant, but you can join the wait list and then wait for hours at home. It is a very fun and bright atmosphere. If you think about rainforest and trees and exotic animals, they really pull in those colors into the environment, and it's a very fun and bright and inviting environment to be in. Number 5 is Deep Deuce Grill, and I will admit this is one I have not been to, but did come highly recommended by a previous client of mine. It is in downtown Oklahoma City. It is known as having one of the best patios in downtown with open seating. If you're looking for prices, most of the appetizers are going to be around $10. Their Deuce specialties are going to be about $15 to $20, and this is going to include things like their macaroni and cheese, barbecue, steakums, and chickums, so chicken versions of the steakums. They have their South of Second menu, which is going to be, again, $15 to $20 or so, and it's going to include enchiladas, tacos, burritos. Burgers and sandwiches are going to be around $15, and again, this came highly recommended from previous clients, and so I highly recommend for you to try it out. Number 6 on the list is one of my favorite places that I have ever eaten, and it is Birdies. I think I have mentioned it in every video. Birdies used to be a Korean fried chicken place, and then it closed and reopened as a Korean steakhouse, and we loved it before, but we love it even more now. It is family style, so when you go, you really share with your table, whether it's a small plate, a large plate, a steak. And I will say, when my family has come into town, my sister specifically, we took her and she said she thinks about it almost every day. I can vouch that it is delicious. It is northwest Oklahoma City, that south part of Edmond, right off of 150th and Penn. Their small plates are gonna average around $15, and these would be things like their Brussels sprouts, their sweet potato burrata, which is my favorite dish from there. They also have kimchi pancakes, which wasn't my absolute favorite, but if you like kimchi, they are really good. Large plates are gonna range anywhere from $20 to $45, just depending on what you get. Some of our favorites from that menu are the sticky ribs. They are a different texture than what you would think of barbecue ribs, but the sauce on them, the way they are cooked, is delicious. And then also the bibimbap is one of, I have heard, their most popular dishes. They mix it right there in front of you, and it is also delicious. And again, all these things you share, so you don't necessarily have to go and choose one. You get multiple, and then you share with the people at your table. Their steaks go anywhere from $40 to over $100, $125. Most of their steaks are Wagyu, but then that price really does differ just depending on the type that it is. And then their sides are really anywhere from $3 to $12. You can get a side, a very substantial side of white rice for $3, which if you are going and trying to maybe go on a lower budget, that's an easy way to get some substance without really spending a lot of money. And then $12 would go up to a buttered corn, which I will say was not our favorite, but some other sides might be their tater tots, which we heard they accidentally got tater tots on one of their first shipments, so they just decided to make it, and then it became a favorite, and so they kept it on the menu. And I will say they are just tater tots, but the sauce that was with them, their ranch and the seasonings on them make them definitely above just your average tater tot. I also was not a personal fan of the carrots, but that's probably just because I'm comparing it to everything else we were eating. And so if you like carrots, they are good. But if you're comparing it to tater tots, I prefer the tater tots. Number 7 on the list, and this is similar to number 6 in that it is owned by the same chef, and he actually appeared on some Food Network shows, and so he has Birdies, but then he also recently opened up a steakhouse called Maht. It is a modern American steakhouse, and the name actually comes from the Korean word of flavor and taste, and that is what it is. And if you look at their menu, I will show some pictures, but you can just see the flavor from the pictures, how intricate and how detailed and just the precision that looks like goes into each and every dish. It's off of 23rd in downtown Oklahoma City. Appetizers are going to be anywhere from $16 to $30. They do have a raw bar of oysters, shrimp cocktails, things like that, and it's going to go from $18 and then plus, just depending on market value. Soups and salads are $15 to $20, and their Caesar salad, it is amazing. It is crazy. And if you see the picture, I think you'll see what I mean. Steaks go from $35 to $100, $35 for a flat iron, $100 going up to a ribeye. So definitely high quality meat. And then there is obviously some price that reflects that. But I think if you were to go and try to get the $35, you are going to still get a delicious steak. And then their other entrees are gonna be anywhere from $25 to $55 depending on what you get. They have short ribs, salmon, roasted chicken, scallop and kimchi risotto, a Wagyu burger, and I do wanna go back because I think it's actually under their appetizers, but they do have a Korean fried chicken. If you loved Birdies before it switched over, I bet you will like that appetizer. For desserts, it's about $15 average, and I hope I don't mess up the word, but probably their most notorious one is the strawberry and cream bingsu, which is shaved milk ice, strawberry ice cream, condensed milk, strawberry sorbet, strawberries, whipped cream, and it comes together to a beautiful masterpiece. Everything is so thought out and really seems like there's so many details into every single dish that I would say this is probably one of the top places you should go from this list. And definitely make reservations. As we were looking at making reservations, we had to book out, maybe 2 months in advance for a 9 o'clock reservation or an 8:30 reservation. So definitely want to make reservations. You can also on Open Table set up notifications so you can be alerted if anybody cancels a reservation. So I would maybe suggest doing that as well, but you definitely want to make reservations. I've been told that if you go, there is open bar seating, as many places have, but I guess you still do not have a guarantee there. And so I would just look at making reservations. Number 8, in again, Oklahoma City Metro, it's going to be Boulevard Steakhouse, which is in Edmond, right there in downtown Edmond. It is a dinner place with appetizers going from $15 to $20. It is primarily steak and seafood. Of course, it is a steakhouse, and so that's going to be, I would say, what is their specialty. Steaks are gonna be from $50 to $85, just depending on if you get a filet to a ribeye. Most seafood dishes do go from around $50, but they do have some other entrees that are gonna be in that $35 to $55 range that might have chicken marsala and a fettuccine alfredo going to be on the lower end. This is also, again, one of those date night places, a little bit higher end, but definitely delicious food. My last 2, I want to preface by saying they are definitely cool vibes, cool experiences. I also believe great food, but definitely is going to be more of an experience. And the first one is Teller's. It is a restaurant in downtown Oklahoma City, and I'm going to put some pictures on the screen. And while I do, I want to share exactly from their website. Teller's serves authentic interpretations of regional Italian cuisine, traditional methods of Italian cooking, and the philosophy of using seasonal ingredients with integrity from the basis of the house-made pastas, wood oven baked Neapolitan pizzas, and locally sourced vegetables and steaks cooked over a wood burning grill. And what's really neat about Teller's is located in the historic First National Bank Gallery amongst the original teller booths. That's where you get Teller's, which have been meticulously restored. The atmosphere at Teller's and the Great Hall embraces the building's rich heritage as a communal space. So definitely cool vibes, but again, that great Italian food as well. They have breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, you're gonna look at spending $15 to $20. You're gonna have biscuits and gravy, pancakes, avocado toast. For brunch, similar dishes, but it does go up to $35. They have some pizzas with, again, some other dishes that might include steak, shrimp, sausage, salmon. They have some burgers. And then as you look at lunch, a lot of those similar ingredients: pizza, sandwiches, pork, salmon, steak. And then for dinner, very similar to everything I've said, but you also are gonna pull in some of those Italian dishes specifically for dinner. So I would say if you are looking for good food, but a great and very cool experience and vibe, Teller's is definitely a place to try. And number 10 on the list is Vast. Vast is located 726.2 feet above the Oklahoma City skyline. It is located on the 49th and 50th floor of the Devon Tower. And so it is a restaurant literally above all of Oklahoma City. Lunch and dinner are different experiences. Lunch right now is $27.50 a person, but there are rotating menus that will include steak, snapper, pork loin. Again, it rotates, changes just depending on the season, but it is a flat fee, whereas dinner is going to be more of a menu that you order from. At dinner, they do have a chef's tasting, which is $140 for a 5-course meal. Again, this is going to be on the higher end. Their appetizers, soups, and salads are gonna be $15 to $30. Their main course menu, $30 to $90 from chicken dishes, scallop, salmon, lamb, pasta, and duck. They do have steaks from $60 to $110. Again, just the type of steak that you get. But like I said, this is maybe going to be one of the higher priced experiences, but I think one of the coolest experiences, especially if you are visiting Oklahoma City and you want to feel immersed in the city. I think this would be a great one, as you can see out over the whole city. And because of Oklahoma's terrain, you can see for miles and miles. And so I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any more to add, maybe you want to add 11, 12, 13 to the list, please do so in the comments and let me know what your favorite is. If you try any of these out, also let me know in the comments because I'd love to know your experience. Again, if you are thinking about moving now or in the future, please remember my name, maybe subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I'd love to connect with you soon. Thanks so much for watching to the end of this video, and I'll catch you in my next one.